All right, welcome to a new week, a new week of Ether raids. We're taking on. I don't know how to say that either. Celica team, and here are. Well, I got a couple of new teams this week. I had to change everything up, pretty much for this light season. This season, in March, things have gotten way bulkier. We are now in a. I want to say. The meta has changed, or is it the meta that has changed? No, the units have changed. So it's time to start swapping out your old units. You're going to start to feel the difficulty spike in terms of attacking into enemy teams, enemy defenses. It's going to be a little bit tougher. It already started from like last week, I want to say, when Rhea was bonus, but it's going to continue. From here onwards, because everyone has realized how strong Rhea is, so they're going to just start putting her on defense, and it's going to make everything a lot more tough, a lot more difficult to break through. Not only her, but we're just going to keep getting stronger units here on out that are going to just keep adding on to the challenges that we'll be facing as we go through our matches. We already have really strong units to speak of, like Ather and so forth, and people are adjusting their defenses to accommodate for the new threats on offense. Rhea again, and it just means that everything is now tougher. And all of my teams needed to change, primarily because of that fact, and also to accommodate Yunaka because she's just fantastic, and also another reason why everyone is changing their defense teams as well, because Yunaka is kind of broken. But yeah, it's definitely a spike in terms of. I don't know if it's a spike or it's a spike that has resulted in us needing to change things. Things need to change, basically. Blame Yunaka and Rhea. That's what I want to break it down to. So here we go. This is the first of 3 new teams. I tried to fit. What's her face? Man, what is her name? Sakura. I tried to fit Sakura, legendary Sakura, onto a team, and it just didn't work, especially in light season, because a lot of Sakura's support is really within like 2 spaces, or requires for you to be clumped together, which does not perform well against Ather teams. So she is like an automatic no-go in light dark season, because that's where Ather is. So you can't really function there or have her do anything good there, unless you just want to get assigned decoyed and snipe that way. Not great. I was thinking that the ice lock would probably be great tech for maybe I could do something cool with it, but it wasn't worth it in the end. It was just like overly complicated gimmicks that I think performs probably better in SD and Arena. So I would probably say that that's gonna be her best. Those are gonna be her best use cases: Summoner Duels and Arena. I don't see her very much as a Ether Raids unit, because similar to Ninja Lucina, she has to do the assist to get her stuff to go off, and that doesn't work well on defense. And also for offense, it's really not that great. I mean, the ice is okay, but then it really is kind of a hindrance more than a help in a lot of situations, especially because you have to wait until turn 2 to get the additional offensive action from there on onward. So yeah, don't really see her much as an Ether Raids unit, but she should do fairly well. Already doing well in Summoner Duel, so also fairly well in Arena as well. So yeah, don't think I'll be using her in AR for the foreseeable future. And then what else? I had to change because of the Mythic as well. There are a couple of teams, like I was doing some like Rune. Rune is so interesting because he offers so much in terms of the extra slot, the nuking potential, all of that good stuff. But man, I was just finding it really tough bringing him on some of the teams, because outside from his support, it's really tough. It's really difficult to move him around the map. There's so many skills that you can put on Peony that will make her really mobile. Whereas Rune, unless you give up his B slot, which you kind of don't want to do, he's really just stuck to 2 spaces, maybe a warp 3 spaces. He can't really get that far, and it's not really that much of a positive benefit. I mean, here I have him on the team, but really all he's doing is positional swaps, which isn't really great for a unit that is as powerful as he is. I guess, I do take some benefit out of his empathy status and the debuffs that he's inflicting, but really he's just here to reposition, because he is always getting... If there was some way that I could warp him, if he had an extra action, if he could... I don't know if that's just what the meta is, or the... Really, it's because it's already in the game. I don't see why you can't just, like, hand it out to some more units, but then also don't give it out too much, because then it's kind of crazy in terms of how many units are going to be able to do that. But I feel like that's what he would need. I would like to have, like, reposition and then go into another action. Kind of like with Baby Dual Robin. That's what I would like Rune to do, because I can't get him into the attack because of things like barricade, because his limited movement. Yeah, he a lot of times just ends up getting stuck, which is why I've opted for Dagger on some of the teams that I've built this season, just because I get the Pathfinder support, not really because of her combat or anything, but just for the added mobility. But yeah, I think I've sacrificed the extra slot just because of that. I don't think he offers that much. Because even for some... I think at some point, maybe this extra slot mechanic might be upgradable. I think I mentioned this before, like you'll be able to get it on turn 2. I think getting the extra slot on turn 2 would be way more beneficial than having to wait until turn 3. So I think if that ends up happening, then his value will probably go up way more than it currently is. But currently, there are some... I'm starting to, like, not include him already, which isn't great, because he's a powerful unit, is a very new mythic 3, and yeah, I don't want to say he's fallen off, but it feels like it's trending in that direction. I've upgraded his kit, or altered his kit a little bit, to start running him with Miracle, because I feel like that is the only way to get any use out of him, because he typically dies to most things in 1 hit. So I figured, since he's dying anyway, the flare special, all of those specials don't really matter since he's not surviving anything. So let's go ahead and give him Miracle. Let's have him survive and get his follow-up hit in. That's where a lot of times I'm seeing more damage come from, when he's able to get the second attack in, and that's what Miracle provides. And also that's a benefit for him being on this team, because Lucina will allow him to get the +1 cooldown, or the extra cooldown, and then the next hit he'll survive the retaliation from the enemy. So I guess that's one way to use him with the Lin Ring, let's say. But all of this is like future turns. On turn 1 he just really doesn't do very much. As you can see with the rest of the units here, I'm able to just get them into position and attack on turn 1, whereas Rune is kind of left behind, as you can see. If you had like the potential to run something like a Wings of Mercy without his B slot being compromised or removed completely, which is where a ton of his stuff is, I'd probably think a little bit more highly of him, but that's just not the case. He's, as you can see, getting left behind quite a bit. I'm finding that even though Lucina isn't taking actions also, she's kind of getting left behind also. She's doing so much just by swapping around and future focusing. So yeah, more value to Lucina than Rune currently. Rune, as you can see, a lot of times I don't even need the extra slot, even though I do have the triangle attack gimmick there, so it is beneficial in that regards. But I don't know what his future is, man. I see him potentially falling off within the next couple of months. Let's play one more. Okay, here's our second match for the day. We're taking on Xerox Wars. I guess it's a reference to Ninja Cap right there. A lot of alien-looking creatures type things. I hope they include more units with her design. I'm not opposed to it. I really like how she how she was introduced for one in the story, and then what her final design ended up looking like. I think it's a good direction if they ever run out of heroes to introduce. I think that's probably what they were trying to incorporate in some way. And probably like the introduction of a whole new, like how every, like how every manga story ends up with aliens being the final big boss, like Naruto ended up that way. One Punch Man, a lot of the villains ended up being aliens. If the final villain for Faye ends up being aliens as well, I wouldn't be too surprised. I can definitely see it going in that direction. And I wouldn't be mad at it. It makes sense to add an extra archetype to the game. We have monsters, beasts, everything is already in Fae, so why not add aliens into the story, that story pool that we can pull from as well. We've already got them. We've already got gods, so why not aliens as well? So yeah, more Gununga gaps, please. I'm not mad at it. But in any case, we're just gonna clear the traps for this first turn. And then on turn 2, we'll go up and figure out the rest of the map. Fortunately, the unit is locked. Shez is locked, so we don't really have to worry about, dealing with her. And there's really no threat range here, no bonus units really. So yeah, we'll have time and energy, and yeah, we'll be able to clear this no problem. Yeah, aside from that, I have, speaking a little bit more on the teams that I feel like I've cooked up a real doozy, a really good one, that hopefully I'll be able to utilize this week. It should be pretty cool. It definitely shone some light onto something that I didn't even realize was as good as it was. I knew it was in the game, but I didn't know it was that good. So hopefully I get to use it at some point this week. Definitely is helping me out with my Rhea problem, and I look forward to seeing more of it in the future on different units, but maybe it's going to be a specific unit include. I doubt it. It's a really good status effect, so debuff at that. So I'm hoping to see. Remember I was saying that I want more debuffs in the game? Yeah, I think I found one that has been kind of sneaking under the radar. Maybe some people, I haven't seen it personally, probably because of Tana and how good Tana, if Tana had it. Ooh. But yeah, not gonna spoil it yet. Hopefully it pops up. Ooh, the terrain here from Lumera, allowing us to warp around. Thank you. Did not realize that would happen, but I guess if you paid attention, you probably would have noticed. But yeah, that's going to allow us to get in a little bit easier. I was going to try to figure something out. The teams that I've built for this season are quite challenging to use. There's no... Well, I guess there are 2 of them, but because Larather is here, then I guess even those 2 are a little bit, you got to think about it. But yeah, there are no real brain dead teams this season. A lot of them are 3 out of 5 are player phase focused, and then the other 2 are tank teams. And I gotta really turn my brain on for the other 2. The other 2 teams that I built. I really got to turn my, since I haven't really practiced quite a bit with them, so it's gonna be a hard time trying to figure out exactly how to use them properly. I really miss being able to just run the old Tana team on that map, and you just warp over and then you send Edelgard in and she does the stuff. But yeah, there's a whole new team archetype that I've built. I guess it's similar, but it's probably more in alignment with New Year's Tana than anything else. So yeah, that one takes some brain power, and the other one that I have as well, which is another range team, takes some brain power as well. I really like this Bridget team. She just blows most things up, with the exception of Formortis, because he is just, Formortis is a really tanky boy. So yeah, I really like this Bridget team. The feud effect, everything that she does, she's just fantastic. Don't underestimate her. The only thing, I like to partner her with Ira or triangle attack support. So that's the only drawback, but I do have the triangle attack support here on this team, but it's in the secret slot. So probably won't see that Oh, well, this isn't... Yeah, you probably won't see that for a little bit. I think I have enough actions to clear this, so we're going to do that. But yeah, I think that's as much as I have to comment on right now, I think. I'm just looking forward to what the new week has in store. Defense last week for Astra Anima was really, really fantastic. I think we picked up one loss to someone who didn't surrender in the end, but they did lose like a unit or so, but it's fine. Still a good defense. GG's. Let's keep the week going.